Welcome to Electrician High. My name is Mr. Collins. This is Jonah Drexler, one of my third-year students. And we're going to talk to you today about some of the things it takes to become an electrical apprentice. So we'll get into that today, and got a lot to talk about, so let's get started. All right, so I'm going to kind of talk to you about the process of becoming an apprentice, what it takes to get your apprentice license, and then kind of going from there. Residential wireman, journeyman license, and ultimately to get your master's license. So we'll kind of talk about some of the steps and what it takes to do that. So first off, and I'm going to show you on the board, to get your apprentice license is really going to the TDLR website, paying $20, and then that way you can work in the field for an electrical contractor. Myself, I'm an electrical contractor. I teach the electrical trades here for LISD. So myself, Best Choice Electric, but there's over 100 other local contractors that you could work for, all looking for a good apprentice right now and paying top dollar. So we'll kind of go over the steps on that and what it takes to do that. So. All right, so first thing that you need to do is get your apprentice license. Okay, so that's going to the TDLR.com website and paying $20. Now, of course, students in my class, we'll go ahead and get you an apprentice license and get you set up on that. So what this does is this allows you to work in the field for a contractor. That way you've got an apprentice license on you and you are legal and legit to work in the field. Now, of course, you're working under a master contractor or journeyman supervision. Step two, once you have this apprentice license and you've worked in the field for long enough and you have hit 4,000 hours, you can apply for a residential wireman license. So on this one, you have to pass the exam, and this allows you to work in any house or apartment unsupervised, but still working for a company. Now you might think 4,000 hours, what does that really equate to? Well, when you're working at 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, about 40 hours a week, this is about 2 years. You get about 2,000 hours a year working in the field at 40 hours a week, okay? So this is 2 years in the field right here. Your apprentice license you can get right away. And then from there you can, once you have hit 8,000 hours, you can test for your journeyman license. Your journeyman license, you have to have 8,000 hours in the field, which equates to about 4 years. You do have to pass the exam, and now you can work without supervision in residential or commercial. Now, of course, with each one of these comes a pay raise. So by the time you get to a journeyman level, you could be making anywhere between $25 to $40 an hour here in Texas. In Lubbock, it's around 25 to 30. Bigger cities, it's going to be $40 to $45 an hour. And then, for those of y'all that have always just had that mindset that you'd like to start your own business, if you continue your field work, you can eventually get your master's license. That's going to be 12,000 hours, which is about 6 years. At that point, you can start your own business. So as you can see, kind of just going into the electrical field from high school, starting in high school, already starting to get your hours. Shortly after high school of working, by the time you are 22, you could be ready to take your journeyman license, making really good money at a young age. And before you're 30, you can start your own business, which is pretty cool for not going to college. So this is just, you learn the hands-on in the field, and then you do apprenticeship classes at night. And that's what we're going to talk about next. Okay, so again, like I was kind of talking about the apprenticeship program, first, a good start is joining this class. So at the ATC for LISD, You know, we got Jonah here, he's a third-year student. There is a 3-year program here at the ATC, so you can start as a sophomore, so by the time you're a senior, you can graduate with several of those hours that you need to be able to get to a residential wireman or a journeyman license. So like I said, here at the ATC, you come every day, we'll work in the classroom, we'll learn all the electrical formula, things like that. And then we also work out in the shop too. So, you know, Jonah's wired a lot of the things that we've got here in the shop, from residential, commercial, industrial type things out in the Habitat house. You know, we wire the Habitat house every year, and a family lives in that one. So that's a pretty big deal. And can you tell us a little bit about the Habitat house and anything that you've done in there? And
yeah, it took a little while to, get started and everything, but it came out really well and up to OSHA standards and everything. And it's real nice to be able to do something for the community other than something for yourself, And not only that, but with this class, you get to know a lot of knowledge and you get to learn a lot of things that aren't necessarily only applicable to the trade. And so it's real fun, You get to work in the shop a lot as well and learn real life things that you could use every day.
For sure. Well, like you said, with that family moving into that house, it kind of makes it more impactful that we're wiring something for keeps, that somebody's actually going to be living there instead of we're just doing something in the shop. So that's real impactful to the students, that something that they're wiring is actually going to be for keeps, for a family. So then after high school, once they've, like Jonah here is fixing to graduate in May, after high school, his next step is go ahead and start working in the field, which he has been doing. And then next September, just like the regular school year, he'll go to a trade school and he'll go 1 night a week. Makes it really easy for 4 years to learn that additional calculations to get him prepared for those exams. So, it's not easy. You can't just become a journeyman overnight. It takes, time. You have to learn the calculations and formula, but it's very rewarding. Not just for the things that, like you were mentioning, that we get to see and build, but it's really great pay. It's helped provide for me and my family and my kids, and I'm hoping it's going to do the same for my students. And it's been a real lucrative business here in town, so there's always a need for it. It is a booming and growing industry. And as you can tell, like if you look around town, there's buildings going up everywhere right now. So we're doing electrical everywhere, and it's never going to end. And it's all over the state. And so there's plenty of work. So this program has been growing and thriving, and that's kind of why we wanted to start this video series. So like I said, we're just kind of getting into the beginning of it, what it takes to become an apprentice, what it looks like after high school, and yeah, we're going to talk about a lot of the different steps, and then also things that we do in this class. Wiring receptacles, lights, switches, what's the code book? What's the code? Do we get inspected? Do we have continuing education every year? Things like that, so we'll get into. So thanks for joining us this time on Electrician High. We'll catch you next time and we'll get into some more topics.